Yeah, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Let's see. It looks like we are live. So welcome, everyone. It is Friday. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you, all the moderators that's about. And may I just invoke favor upon everyone today. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Yeah, it is definitely the summer of healing. I would agree with that. Welcome again. I have a special guest, one of our soul tribes. This is Nina, and I'm just glad that she has been able to come on. And I know it's your birthday, so happy birthday! Happy birthday to everyone else. Nina, how you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. Thank you very
Good
much
deal.
for the birthday wishes. And
Yeah, is it a good one?
yeah, well, 29 again, holding. Don't get any older than that.
You know, listen, if we were on Mars, all of us would be what? Probably a third younger. So anyway, there's a thought.
Oh,
It's just
I can go
relative,
with that.
Think about it. Yeah, if you're in Jupiter, man, you just got born.
Yeah,
So just a matter of perspective.
yeah.
Well, welcome. I've seen everyone. Everyone's giving you birthday wishes. Hey, Big Al, I understand you're leaving out of Memphis. Memphis, has you ever been to Memphis, Tennessee?
Me?
Yeah.
No, never.
No? I know you're in Canada. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's a funky town. It's oh man, it's hot, humid, but they do have this place called Beale Street, and a lot of blues back in the I don't know how post virus,
Yeah.
but yeah, they used to have a lot of blues bars. BB King had one down there. Great ribs. Anyway,
Okay. Well, I've
yeah.
been to New Orleans, so I
Okay,
guess
well then
that's sort
you've
of
got the vibe. Yeah, it's
yeah,
got the same
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
Um, you can stay at the Peabody, which I did one time, but there are better hotels. But anyway, you do get to see the ducks. The ducks make they have a special place on the rooftop. They have an elevator that comes down, and it's a big deal. So at 11 o'clock, the ducks come down from the roof. And as they get to the first floor, there's a red carpet, and the ducks automatically go to this pond. It's in the middle of this. And at 5 o'clock, it's actually happy hour, and they have a whole band, it's, yeah, very interesting. Don't know what got me off on that, but anyway, Nina, welcome to my world, and I think you're going to have fun here.
Yeah, thank you. It's kind of weird because I see you every day, so it's kind of weird, but you don't see us, and so it's
No.
kind of different being on the other side of the screen this
Well,
time.
I think we ought to make it to where everybody has to come on or send in a picture, and I'll post them so we can see what those beautiful souls look like out there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's the Crystal Network, of course.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
on there, and
Yeah.
actually, while I'm here, I want to show you guys the necklace that I got from Queen of Quartz.
Mm-mm.
That's the Phantom
Wow.
Amethyst, I believe.
You look at that.
Yeah. And then she also sent me this one. I think
Oh, yeah.
you have that as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
This
fact,
one sits on my night table.
yeah, mine
So,
is right.
yeah.
See,
Thank you, Queen
stays
of
there.
Quartz.
Yeah.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, stays right there. Uh, and I actually had someone, if you want to see a beautiful, Lisa sent me this.
Amethyst. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Is
love
that just
amethyst.
beautiful?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite crystals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's anyway, so
Yeah.
yep, absolutely. Karen's very cool. I hope she
Yes.
finds lots and lots of gold up there in the
I think she's
Yukon.
only about 7 hours away from me, she said. She's in
Okay.
Canada here. They must be mining or doing something around
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. How is the weather? Is it still cold up there, or
Today it's raining,
yeah?
which is normal down here. But earlier, sort of end of May, it gets quite hot. The last
Okay.
few years, it's been hot, and then it cools down. We get a bit of rain, and then summer will come and it gets hot and dry and stuff. But yeah,
Well, with the magnetic pole moving, which is now well into
yeah,
Siberia, and they're paying the price for that. It doesn't surprise me until it makes off the coast of Russia. Yeah.
Right.
Who
Yeah, I
knows?
know.
You may be in a tropical zone, Nina.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, Hawaii surfs up.
Wow. Yeah, see, I was under the impression that we're getting colder. So the
Yeah.
global warming, that's sort of gone now. We're going towards what was it, grand solar minimum, I believe they call
Yeah,
it.
about I think that
Uh,
I heard Ben say today on Suspicious Observers about
right.
2030s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I follow the same people. So
yeah, yep. Well, so we're right in sync. I mean,
yeah.
we see it. I think it's the inevitability. It happens when a pole or magnetic poles move. I mean, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that the weather here, because we normally don't get snow here in Vancouver. I live actually about 45 minutes outside of Vancouver, but we normally don't get much snow, like a day or two. That's about it. But the last 3, 4 years, we've actually had a bit of snow, to the point where I've been worried about driving, because of course we don't have snow tires here. And the snow is very, nobody has snow tires, right? So, it's like, where are we supposed to store these things and all of this, right? So all seasons, that's it. And yeah, it was to the point where it's like, ooh, probably shouldn't be out there driving. And then of course our snow is a little wetter too,
Mhm.
on the wet coast. So,
Yeah. Slip
so
sliding away, as they would say.
yeah. And then I
Yeah.
saw somewhere it was posted down in Montana, I think it was, got like a foot of snow there on the 8th of January or June here.
Yeah, we had snow just 20 miles to the southwest of us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
unusual, isn't it?
Very unusual.
Yeah, yeah,
It's 90 today, but on Monday it literally didn't get 55, 56.
right. So
So
whatever was sown in May is probably then you probably lost that crop then, I guess. Right.
it's been really bizarre. And, unlike where you are, water is really important here. And we are in the early stages of drought. And, um, you know,
Mm,
I hope the monsoons come, because that's one thing that has changed here. I've lived here
mm,
15 years, and the monsoons used to be very regular. We knew at the end of July, first week of August, the monsoons would come up from the southwest.
yeah.
They have not been here for the last couple of years.
Wow. So
So,
you really noticed the change.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the sun, I'm an avid sky watcher, and the sun is further north this year. It's
Weird.
amazing how far
Yeah. Yeah.
further than than its northeast projection. So anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
how are you doing? We're just talking here ramblessly, but I love this opportunity because it gets a chance for everyone to know everyone,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone has a journey. So,
Yeah.
uh, tell us a little bit about yourself. Besides that, it's your birthday today.
Right, right. Yeah, so I moved here from Norway. I was born and raised in Norway, and been here 30 something years now, which
Okay.
don't do the math, obviously, with the whole.
Hey, listen, where I come from, 1 + 1 is 3.
Well, there you go.
So it works for me.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean I have a strong connection to the Norse, mythology and that sort of thing. But I work with all over, like I work with angels and demons, and I'm just all over the place.
Well, how'd
Kind of
you
like
come
that.
into that journey? I mean, from Norway, were you,
Yeah.
did you get raised in a Christian home, or?
So yes and no. So everybody calls themselves Christian there, right? It's kind of like, when nobody goes to church or do any of this stuff, right? But you have to call yourself Christian, because otherwise you can't get married in church. You can't, different things. So that's just the way it is over there. Everybody's Christian. But we've noticed that the churches are getting less and less. I believe the mosques, there's more mosques over there now than there is churches. So, and
Interesting.
noticed most of my peers never got married. nobody changed their name. So a lot of that whole Christianity type of thing is kind of gone by the sideway. But if you ask them, they would say, oh yeah, because they identify with that as something that you were born with and whatever. But yeah, so, you know, grew up with that. I mean, my grandma kind of was maybe doing the whole evening prayer, they used to say, you know, before you went to bed and whatever. But other than that, we didn't go to
Yeah,
church
yeah.
or anything like that. But yeah. So, but no, and then as an adult, I kind of got back into Christianity for a bit there when the kids were little. I did it, I think, more or less to please my mom and whatever, and sort of went along with that. Just, you know, went along with that, and then. But the weird thing is, I'm sure most people that are listening to you probably have similar kind of stories to what I'm about to tell you. But my whole life, I was, I guess you could say, attacked by demons or negative forces or whatever my whole life. The earliest that I can remember is when I was about 4 years old. And I guess people explain it nowadays with sleep paralysis type of thing. It's basically, yeah, you just get struck with fear and you know something is in your room. There's no doubt about it. And as a little kid then, you know, I would just sort of hide underneath the blanket and whatever. And this one time though, when I was 4, I vividly remember this cold hand on my stomach. And I remember telling my dad about it, but he didn't really know what to say. And ever since then, so I was 4 years, ever since then, I could never sleep on my back. Whenever, if I ever went on my back, it would start up. And I would have this probably 2-3 times a week, my whole life until I was in my 40s.
So it started when you were 4?
That's the earliest recollection, but I'm sure it was going on before when I was 4. I've blocked out most
Did
of
it
that time.
ever harm you or
No, you would be paralyzed. You couldn't move. You can't scream.
yeah, I
You know,
suffered
an
that for a
intense
while.
fear. Yeah, yeah, intense fear. And so this would be going on, is like I said, my whole life. It didn't matter if I had a husband next to me or if there was people, you know, this would happen. So I could never sleep on my back, never. And I guess the worst episode that I had was probably one of the last or the latter end of it, which was exactly 10 years ago now, 2010. I had an incident where it wasn't just fear now, it was an actual manifested being in my room that came, swooped up. So you kind of hear like this swooshing, like an air kind of noise to it. It's almost like the flapping of wings or whatever, but it's just this whatever. And it laid behind me because I was laying on my side, of course, with my hands sort of up like this. That's kind of how I sleep. So he laid behind me and he put his hand inside my hand like this when I was laying there. And I could tell it was a male, if you get my drift. It was a male being
Is
laying
that a
next to me.
pickle in your pocket there,
Yeah,
mister?
there was something was exciting going on there. Anyway, so I was, you know, struck with fear. You're kind of paralyzed. You can't scream. You can't say anything. But I was able to just sort of go like that. And then it flew off.
So let me stop there because that's very
Yeah.
interesting because in your case, that would be an incubus if
Yeah.
that and you know it's a whole realm of occult knowledge that it's known but not known
Mm-hmm.
in this whole area of spirits, um, higher intelligences. I mean, you know, that's
Yeah.
what I would think that they would be. And I asked the question before, do spirits have sex? Well, it's quite obvious that throughout mankind's history, there
Mm-hmm.
have been recorded instances, both male
Mm-hmm.
and female.
Yeah.
Most of the times they're rapes
Right.
more than
Yeah, so yeah,
consensual.
this is real. Like I've
Yeah.
experienced this firsthand myself. I know a lot of people will actually, you know, back then I never talked about this. My whole life never talked about it. And then once this happened though, it was almost like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like that's it. I got to start talking about this. So I asked some of my friends, no, then never heard of this or never had any of this happening. So I thought, well, is it just me? Like, what's going on? So I thought, so that's when I went online. I started looking it up, sexual spirits, incubus, whatever, all of that kind of stuff. And that was my journey away from Christianity and into the occult. That's how it
Interesting.
started. Yeah, that's how I
Interesting.
started. And so I had a few more incidences of things coming. But at this point now, I kind of like, it was almost like I wasn't afraid anymore. I actually tried to enjoy myself. I tried to enjoy myself, and I was laughing
In
and
moments
having
of
fun.
the paralysis.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
instead of sitting there, trying to pray to something or ask something for help or whatever, it was like I was trying to enjoy myself, and I was laughing and having fun with it rather than being scared of it. And I haven't had it since. So this kind
You
of
mastered it,
confirms
my
what you've been
dear.
saying about laughter.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of these things, because that's what they're there for. They want to feed off your fear, right? That's what they're hoping, that you're going to be fearful and give them a bunch of fearful energy. But that didn't work anymore with me. And that kind of confirms what you've been saying as well about laughter. So that's a trick. If you guys out there are experiencing these things, just laugh at it, and you'll just bugger off.
Have you had any more encounter of, materialization of, the other? They're obviously either they're super intelligent.
Hmm.
I can't see that they would be lesser intelligent, and they're obviously masters at being able to transmute matter,
Yeah.
taking corporeal form from
Hmm.
their ethereal form.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Wow.
having that experience proves to me that they are capable of manifesting physically. Because I mean, I felt those fingers were as real as any, and there was no temperature change. Like
Yeah,
you would
that
think,
was not
oh,
good.
was it cold? No, I didn't notice any temperature change at all. But just yeah, firm, like it felt like human fingers, really, uh, you know.
Yeah, a
And
lot of people think they're cold, but let me tell you, there's
no, they're
more
not.
encounters that most people say that they don't even detect a
Yeah.
difference in temperature.
Right. So I don't know if there's a difference between them and ghosts, I guess. Maybe ghosts are more where the temperature would drop in the room and stuff like that. I'm not, 100%
It's an
sure, but
interesting point you bring up there because,
yeah.
um, you know, the advancements now in the technology is we're starting to be able to track these energies.
Mm,
There is programs out there that are quite remarkable, can actually show you the stick figure of the spirit that would be in a room that you otherwise wouldn't be able to detect. So
mhm.
obviously, again, the fact that they can materialize to me is that's the thing I they don't come around me anymore because I ask them questions. I want to know, how do you where do you get this knowledge from? It's like when you died and you transform over, do you get the class that says, all right, students, this is how we transmute matter? Because I want to know
Yeah.
how they do that.
I think the reason why we don't know is because we come in here with amnesia, with a blank slate, which in one sense is probably a good thing because we're not carrying all the baggage from all the other lives. And I know that you don't quite
I don't
believe in
know.
the reincarnation, but
You know,
uh, yeah, so I'm assuming once we go transfer over there, the amnesia is gone, and we now like, oh right, yeah, okay, we remember what all these things, and so they may not be actually even more intelligent, really. They just that they don't have the amnesia that we do.
good point. I mean, I love the
So
perspective on that, Nina. I
yeah,
think that's insightful. And, because no one knows for sure. I mean, I really haven't talked to someone who made the transition and then reversed it, coming back and said, "Hey, Steiger, let's sit down and let me tell you what it's like." Yeah,
hmm,
You know, um,
yeah, yeah. It
I've,
seems that all those near-death experiences, most people are just reciting what their beliefs are. Like if you think you're going to heaven, they say that, oh, that's where they went, or
hmm
hell, or whatever that their expectation is, it seems.
yeah.
you know.
I'm right there with you. As you know, I am a proponent of that because um, it's so indoctrinated into you. You don't know of anything else because it's that fear of death. Whereas, I kind of like what Don Knotts did. He went
Yeah,
over laughing. You know,
exactly.
I
Yeah,
think that
that's the way
that's the
to
way
do
to
it.
go, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
Yeah.
baby.
I hope I'm in that, frame of mind when I go,
Yeah,
that's,
it's. I
yeah.
I told you where the beach is where I'm heading. That'll be the first stop. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, so after that whole thing then, so I'm on the computer and I'm learning things, and I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna try and summon these things. I'm gonna try and summon whatever spirits and whatever, right? So I start off with the whole meditation, and every night I'm doing the thing, and sure enough, after about 30 days, takes about 30 days to do something every day. And sure enough, I started getting connections. And it also confirms another thing that you've been talking about is spirit being electric. Because the first things that I noticed were little electric, little kind of zaps. That's when okay, there it is. Especially in the beginning, that's what you're gonna feel. So you look for that around your wrists, around your ankles, up your legs, those types of places. And yeah, it is electric. So definitely, it was something else that I caught on one of your shows. You talked about spirit being electricity or electric or whatever, and I totally agree with that. I totally resonate with that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They have to be. I mean, we still don't understand what electricity actually is, but yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. I
Yeah.
mean, the stories of the Titans, when they always appeared, you think about as well with many UFO encounters. Electricity is very abundant and very much around. In
Hmm.
fact, you think it has to be because otherwise you wouldn't be able to pick it up on an electromagnetic meter.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's kind of cool. So you obviously didn't have the fear factor anymore.
Right.
So that
Mm.
pretty much gives you immunity. A lot of people don't realize it, but once you conquer the fear,
Mhm.
you have conquered them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's been 10 years now and I haven't had a single incident. So, you know,
So how are you now in your conjuring? Where are you at in that? I mean, have you developed the skills in the last decade?
yeah. So, I feel spirit all the time. I believe that there's dimensions and we're in,
Hmm.
like this whole place is inside dimensions. And I had that understanding even as a kid. I don't know why. But sure enough, because I used to see like things like in the corner of your eye move sometimes, and I'm sure most people do, but you kind of got scoff it off, right? And I believe those are like tweaks in the dimensions. So spirits are around you all the time because they're also in their dimension. It's just that I'm able to feel them all the time. And so I use that either when I'm trying to figure out something or in readings and stuff. I will use, like, they'll nudge me and I can feel them. They're actually literally touching me. Sometimes they can go right through my head or different things, but depending on which spirit it is or how mature the spirit is and whatever. But
Do you find
um,
most of the spirits to be human, or what we perceive to be human?
I'm not even sure what they are, to be honest with you.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hear any voices or see anything, which is probably a blessing. I mean, that could maybe drive someone crazy if that was going on all the
Let me
time.
tell you
But
what I've experienced the last couple of times. I think I opened up something, when I was reading on the ancient ones. There's been a couple of times when I have literally opened my eyes in the midst of meditation, and there's this black mist sitting right there. I mean, doesn't have a form,
mm,
so it's pretty weird. So,
yeah,
yeah. By the way,
I've had
everyone.
that actually. I remember now. I was at a friend's place, and we're sitting outside. She's having a cigarette and whatever, and all of a sudden we see this misty type of thing start manifesting in front of us, and we weren't conjuring anything. We were just sitting there talking. Like we weren't doing anything. And I'm like,
Well, come
do you
on
see
in.
that? I'm like, do you see that? And she's like, yeah. So we just watched it. But
Yeah.
we're thinking maybe it was her ex who had passed.
Okay.
We were talking about some furniture that he had made and whatever. But yeah, that was weird. And it was, yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a misty type of, and you can kind of see it like move his head type of, like it was weird. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, what I've been seeing, it doesn't, it's not round. It doesn't have,
Yeah, it's like a
it's
fluid kind of.
constantly moving. I mean, it's
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
doing
yeah.
this number, and it's like, well,
That's actually probably pretty hard for them to do.
you know,
Takes a lot of energy, I'm sure.
I'm sure it does,
Yeah.
because my mind equating, this is a lot of kinetic energy being manifested here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
anytime you see a spirit, if it's a full apparition, even I think if you feel them, that takes energy.
yeah.
It's by the way, did anyone see what today was? The card. We'll let that sit for a minute. So where one of the things I have found for myself in how you literally have to break this construct that's built in the realm of what we're dealing with, because when you walk away from Christianity, you walk away from the duality. And it's one of the things I'm going to do a program in, because if you say that there is both good and evil, you're still in the construct.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
something I've been meditating on for quite a while, is that, all right, see, I don't believe in the Hebrew God. I don't believe in, the Judeo-Christian God, the Islamic God, or any of them. I mean,
Mhm.
I think they're all jerks, but so that's just me.
Yeah, I get that.
Everybody, it was the black square. So anyway, um, but then it leaves this, and this is the thing. This is why I don't have the problem with spirits around me, because I no longer see them as good or evil.
Mhm.
That construct has to eventually, and this is just me, Nina,
Mhm.
eventually has to be deconstructed. Because if not, then this is the Oberus all over again.
Mhm.
So how I am approaching many times now when I reach out into the ethereal realm is this neutrality.
Yeah.
So
Well,
anyway,
yeah, one thing that that I got from Lucifer is in the balance. It is very much adamant about being in the balance. And when I asked about where should I get information or what books or what author or whatever, he said there's no books written about him that's has anything to do with the truth.
I I I would wholeheartedly concur.
Yeah. So it's
You've
like,
heard me.
okay, where do I go? What do I do?
So I mean, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Listen, if the personification exists, that is the one being that I really want to sit down and have tea with. I think it would be probably one of the most mind-blowing conversations you could
Mhm.
have.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's exactly. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
people go ahead, hon.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize that Lucifer is actually light. So
Yeah,
they hear the name Lucifer and they get scared. They think it's something evil or something dark or no, he's the light bringer. He's light,
yeah.
So some
Knowledge,
people think
wisdom.
that Lucifer is Jesus, that it's one and the same being,
Catholic
you know.
Church worships Lucifer. I
So
mean,
there you go. So
people
there you
don't
go.
like to hear that, but
No,
they do.
you can go online and hear them sing
Yeah,
Lucifer, Lucifer. Yeah,
yeah.
they're not hiding it. So
They're not hiding it, and they say
no.
that Jesus is his son. So yeah, I'm going, well, I love this construct. What? It's like
Yeah.
now I'm totally confused.
Well,
Uh
all our history was burnt down in the Library of Alexandria. That and all the book burnings, right?
and
So
also in Constantinople, that was the next one.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that
So
was both the Christians, and that was the Christians who did that. They say that the River Thames, that it flowed black for days
with ink,
because they were throwing all the ancient knowledge
yeah,
into the river.
I know. because they didn't want us to find out that, hey, religion is all bogus, right?
This,
They have to cover up the tracks.
and you're bringing, Nina, this is an enlightening conversation, because there was clearly something that happened to our species. Now, I look at this as potentially a spiritual influence that came in, and spiritual can be easily interpreted as alien.
Yeah. Huh.
But when the feminine goddess was removed, banished, all writings of her, everything, the little bit that we've been able to dig up validates that she did exist.
Mhm.
And, I see the metaphoric story in the story of Moses being banned by Pharaoh and, all of his names removed from the monuments. That, I believe, is a metaphorical reference to what they did to the mother goddess. Have you found anything in your times dealing in the spirit realm, anything to do with the feminine goddess?
Well, I work with a lot of goddess energy as well. And, I guess the way that my take on it is, I guess the first female was defiant. She didn't want to lay underneath them or
That's
whatever it
what
was.
Leah told me.
So because of that, we're still being punished for that.
Isn't it the truth?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad here in North America, but all you have to do is travel a little bit and they're still wearing covers over their face or
It's
mutilating their
amazing how we get
genitals.
into this racial discussion, but
Yeah.
yet the sexual repression of the female. It's amazing how that continually gets pushed off because
Yeah.
there's another crisis here to do. Listen, when our society begins to embrace the fact that the feminine is still enslaved into the masculine construct, we're never going. That's why witches have always been feared.
That's right.
Would you consider yourself a witch?
I don't like labels in general. I think we can dabble in a little bit of this and that and the other thing, but I mean,
Well, witch
I
meaning
guess
actually just means wise woman.
yeah, so I do things that witches do. So if that makes me a witch, then
You're a wise woman.
so be it. There you go.
Yeah.
Wise old crone.
I didn't say anything. I think no. I mean but it so typifies why? Because they burned the witches, but they let the wizards go free.
There you go.
That's a fact.
So it had nothing to do with what they were doing. It had more to do with, what gender they were. And I also heard too that, if the men would die in battle and whatever, and the woman would inherit the house, well, they would want to get rid of the woman so that they can take her land. So a lot of it, that's what it was all about.
And that was
Kill off the
Christians
women.
doing that.
Hey, there you go, right?
I mean, what?
Yeah.
It's like the word that and it's profane because the way it's been using, but the fact that when you look at, particularly the medieval times, it was, very harsh punishments if you broke the 10 Commandments or any other laws behind there.
Yeah.
And, when you think about it, just what you said, so the female, it's so inherently wrong. And here today, I'm waiting for some woman of enlightenment to come along and show us exactly the way it's supposed to be done. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool. So as you have grown, do you find a familiarity as you work with the spirits? I mean, do you literally conjure them, or do you just basically start reaching out and just meditate to reach out to them?
A little bit of both. They're
Okay.
around me all the time. So, there's new ones coming in all the time. I had a new spirit there just the other week, came for a little bit and then it was gone. But yeah, or I'll, conjure them, or I'll do rituals or, different things where I'll, be work with spirits.
Do you use
Yeah.
cards?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to do a reading on, I mean, I don't have that gift particularly. I just don't focus in on it. I am always marvel at those who actually do have that gifting.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, so I use spirit while I'm doing it. So my intention before I even start is like, say, my hump day. I do a live
Yes, you
thing
do
every,
that.
yeah, every
Explain that.
Wednesday morning. So I call
Yeah.
it hump day because it's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, the hump of the week. So I'll do the pick a card. So you'll like pick a card, 1, 2, or 3. Meditate on the numbers, right, while you're thinking of a question, and then you'll pick the number. And then I'll shuffle. And my intention before I do that with the spirit is to guide those who need this message at this time, whether it be live or if they catch me on the replay or whatever. It doesn't matter. I've had people comment like months down the road saying that, hey, this was bang on for me, right? And they just stumble upon that video. And so, well, they didn't. Spirit led them to that video and they got the message when they needed it. And
Yes.
so that's what I do every week. And, and it is a general message. So it will resonate for some and for some, maybe not. But most of the time, I would say it does. It's amazing how spirit can then use us to get their message across. So, yeah.
I contend the greatest travesty that Homo sapiens have inflicted upon themselves is the fact that we have forbaded the reaching out to the spirit realm. That's where we're all going to anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that it would be a natural compulsion of any person wanting to develop that skill here to talk to them over there.
Exactly. Yeah. Why not start the communication and the relationship now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of waiting till you're over there, or maybe it's not even the start, it's just continuing. Because, some of our soul tribes, are over there. Most of them are actually probably over
I
there.
think you're right on that one. And by the
Yeah.
way, folks, make sure you go over and subscribe to Nina's channel. Links are below, and you're wanting to go live. Is that right? You have to have
Yeah.
1,000.
So according to YouTube, I have to have 1,000 subs in order to go live through my phone. And my
Okay,
phone
yeah.
seems to work better on YouTube than my computer for some reason.
No,
So
I
yeah,
can
you need
understand that.
1,000 subs for that. So that's my goal, to manifest 1,000 subs.
Okay.
And then, then of course, go and jump on Facebook, like the Facebook page. And then hopefully you guys can catch the hump day message when it goes live on Wednesday mornings.
I like that idea. And is it at a
Yeah.
set time every Wednesday?
Yeah. So it's 9 o'clock Pacific. So I
Okay.
guess that's what, 10 o'clock for you.
Yeah, it'd be 10
And
o'clock.
then noon Eastern. And I believe it's
Yeah.
5 in the UK, 5 p.m. in the UK. Because I
Yeah.
had a lady from there last week. So
Probably have
yeah.
some more coming from I'm just reading some of the comments
Okay.
from Australia as well. I have no doubt of that. And people are really getting into it. I love the idea, hump day. That's pretty cool. Really far out.
Yeah.
So what would you say that spirits primarily want to talk to other people about? Is it a sense of giving guidance? Is it a sense of helping them to make choices on their path? We all have those intersections where, decisions. In fact, it's very odd. I was talking to my brother down in Houston, and I said, the interesting thing about growing older is that you look back on your life and you can see those inflection points. So, what do you see that the spirits primarily want to be saying?
Well, first of all, they can't do anything unless you ask. So you have to ask them for help. So that's what I do before readings or anything. You call them, calling you guys and your angels, and that they want to help you, with everything, pretty much, whatever you need help with. So they're there to not to be used, but to use them. They're there. So why not?
It's
And then
interesting you say that because it's sense that there's a real sense of love, compassion, concern. These are all attributes to what I would call a non-threatening environment.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't felt any fear at all by the spirits that are around me. No fear whatsoever. Even when I'm working with demons, I don't feel any fear or evil or anything like that. Like, and evil and good, like there's no such thing as good and evil. It just is.
It just is.
It's you can take the gun, for instance, which is a huge thing right now about gun control and this and that. Well, the gun is just a gun. It just is. It's not evil or good. It's the person that's using it, the intention behind it. That is what
Like
could
driving a
be.
car drunk. I mean, the
Exactly.
car didn't do
Right.
anything.
Right. It's not the car is just a car. It just is. So it's all about the intention of how it's being used. And that goes for pretty much everything, so
When you can
we get so
encounter a
stuck up
demon,
on.
Nina, how is that? What is the sense that you can tell between an angel and a demon? Is it, I mean, here's the thing, that I
Mhm.
struggle with where exorcism is concerned is like, well, did that demon spirit convert to Christianity? I mean, why aren't we using, Allah to cast it out? Or why aren't we going and invoking Kali?
You can.
Well, I'm sure you can. I mean, I
Yeah.
have no doubt. But the point
Yeah.
is, what is the difference? Is it an energy feel, or is it, because when people hear demons, they immediately think the construct of Dante's Inferno,
Yeah.
Hollywood, something gross that's there to going to devour you.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
I don't really think there is a difference. Like, I don't really feel the difference. Like, to me, like I don't feel that one's evil and one's good, or they're just spirits, and they literally been demonized by the church.
Ooh, well said. Well played
Right.
on words. I like that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's far
Yeah.
out. Yeah, that's exactly what's, yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, uh, actually, the root word coming from Latin going all the way to Greek does mean divine ones.
Right.
I don't know what the term angel in it's. I think that, you know, somehow another, and I still say it was potentially the church that characterized these spirits into classifications. And
Hmm.
like you said, demonizing the spirits that were there to look at. I mean, because you can
Yeah.
go down the other road that, for that there's the hordes of demons,
Right.
it's almost like Lord of the Rings,
Hmm. Hmm.
that type of thing. And
Hmm.
boy, when that virus gets into people's heads, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why they
That's the
fear
thing.
people like you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, because you're talking to, I bet you do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there she
Yeah.
goes,
Hmm. Yeah. No. Yeah. That was
yeah,
exactly.
everyone got it too.
Yeah. Well,
Boom,
I
said Spirit Girl.
I got a spirit touching me right now, to be honest.
Well,
Well,
what
I
do
go,
they have something to say? Or I mean,
no, I
they're
don't. They're
just
just pulling
enjoying?
my hair, pulling my hair.
Yeah.
They're just telling me that they're here. They're listening.
Oh,
So by doing that, so they're agreeing with what we're saying right now. They're like,
oh,
yeah, keep going on this one. This is good.
good
Yeah.
deal. I mean,
So
uh, I like that because to me, you can't get over on the other side and say suddenly that there's this bifurcation of purpose. I mean, to say that one is purpose to be good, one is purpose to be evil,
mhm.
doesn't make sense. I mean, to me, it's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the word angel actually means messenger.
okay, that's true. That is
So
correct. So we have
the
divine one and
yeah,
messenger.
right. So I guess according to the Bible, I guess, and according to the Sumerian tablets,
Hmm.
there's a lot of the same information actually in there. That I was quite shocked as
Well, that's where the
studying
Hebrews
this
got the
lately.
information.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So they took bits and pieces and made it into whatever their own
They
thing
did.
there.
Yeah, they literally did.
Yeah, yeah.
Sons of
I
bitches. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I know
Like,
that's why people get scared back to Christianity, because it's like,
yeah.
oh my God, it must be true. It's all, so, and I've been there. But you're talking about the ancient ones and the watchers. So I guess the Anunnaki had already made us at this point then, and then he decided to leave and told these messengers, the archangels, watchers, whatever you want to call them, to watch over us. And well, I guess that didn't go so well. I guess according to the thing that they
Somebody dropped the ball.
decided to mate with us rather than watch us. So, you know, but like say Azazel, for instance, he's one of the big guys in there. You know, he's literally the scapegoat. He's the original scapegoat. And if you read in the Old Testament, they made a sacrifice to Yahweh and they made a sacrifice to Azazel. So he was right in there with these guys, you know, and so then somehow later now, all of a sudden, they just made him into the scapegoat and he's bad and whatever. But they were sacrificing to him just as much as they were sacrificing to the other gods. So
You see,
goat,
and
we're
when
sacrificing a goat, literally a
yeah.
scapegoat.
Yeah, I mean, and that story is replayed, you know, with the children of Israel with Moses. You know, when you get into this whole construct, is when I see that now, there's a really good book out there called The Gods of Eden, which really brought this down to what I think the context really needs to focus in on. These are aliens. These are not gods. These are not super beings. This is a species. They're obviously of an intellect, probably higher than ours, but you see, and when you use that word sacrifice, that's the whole thing that gets me about with Yahweh. I mean, you just go into the book of Kings, when Solomon finished the temple. I mean, this so-called God, the Christian God, because Yahweh is the Christian God. What was it? The number in in Second Kings is over 100,000 bulls, oxen, slaughtered. And that's just a bizarre. Now that I look at this, Nina, it repulses me. You know. Anyway, that's all right.
Yeah, what was I was going to say something. Got off
Well,
track
it's
here.
just the fact that, you know, with Azazel and with Yahweh is the fact that these creatures always seem to require blood sacrifice.
Right.
And
yeah, so back to the alien thing. Yeah, so
yeah,
alien just means you're not from here. You're not from around here, you know,
yeah,
from a different planet. And according to the Sumerian tablets and whatever, we're not from here either. So, you know, we're half-bred, so half-breed. You know, so yeah, I don't, and they're not gods, okay? They're just another being, just like we are. It's just that yeah, they're probably more intelligent. I think the why we are special is because we're actually probably more lower minded. I don't want to use the word retard, but we're special, if you get my drift, you know. So you got to be nice to us. We're the special little beings over here, you know what I mean? So and they probably just fed up with us, you know, like
I saw kids in that class, you know, when I was going through school, you know, we always
yeah, you have to be nice to that
they're
one,
very
right?
special.
Yeah, special ed, right? Special, you
Yeah.
gotta be nice to those guys. So that's why they were here to watch over us and to make sure we didn't get in too much trouble. Well, I guess that didn't work out too well,
I
but
think they just have more technology. I am convinced
yeah,
of it. I think they're just like us. I mean, it begs that question then, in the spirit realm, are all spirits of the same essence? I say no. It appears that there is a diversity in the spirit realm as there is in the physical plane. I mean, I don't see that all spirits are humanids.
yeah.
I mean, you hear the term today, but that's rather bigoted in the viewpoint that the whole universe is going to look like humans.
No, no,
Yeah.
of course not.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I
no.
think we're the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
then you look at, like, say, so even if we believe everything, right, according to the tablets and according to the Bible, so he got fed up and he decided to flood the whole thing, and then he chose his one family to be the one survivor. So how do you explain all the other races then? How do you get Asians and blacks and everything from these Middle Eastern family that apparently bred
Why
us
don't we be
all?
real honest here? The thing about Homo sapiens is that they're an incestuous species.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Well,
had
according
sex with
to
their,
that, we can.
well, I mean, the father had to have sex with the daughter was having sex with the brother was having sex with the mother. I mean, this is the
Well, it
only
was
way.
Noah and 3 sons, right? And the three
Yeah.
sons had 3 wives. So you got 3 families basically that are yeah, cousins.
And
They're
you have to
all
remember the story that when Noah got out and got drunk, 2 of the daughters had sex with him.
right.
He
Yeah,
impregnated them.
right.
What? And
So
you
this is what it's.
think that we are the high intelligent
So that's
species?
what I'm saying. You know, we're inbreds, okay? We are literally inbreds, and not too smart. So
There's a
you know,
county in Tennessee, Cock County, that I had a friend that was a Tennessee highway patrolman, and he said the county was known because there was a lot of inbreeding in that county. I mean, and as we're sitting here talking, I'm going, well, this predates all of that nonsense. God.
yeah, that
I
might
mean, how
explain
could
a
it
few
happen?
things.
How could it otherwise not be? Only
Yeah.
here on the noon show are we going to cover such topics that, you know, Dar Smile says, and we're cannibals too. That's true. That's very true. I mean, it's a wonder to me. You see, I'm not buying this because if you go through anthropology, and you know that they've dated the origins of Homo sapiens coming out of Southeast Africa, you know, 200,000-300,000 years ago. But no one ever explains where the whites that came from the north, where did that start?
Yeah,
Now you bring
that's what
it.
I'm saying.
And so let's take this over into the spirit realm. I wonder how the spirit realm, because I don't think they're bound by planets. I really think that we literally can go anywhere we want. It's going to take a while to figure out the map, but nevertheless, I can't believe that all spirits are the same thing. I don't believe that all the spirits are human.
No, no,
Yeah.
probably not.
I don't
No.
even know, Nina, if we're human when we go over there.
We're just an energy. It's
Yeah.
or a consciousness, I like to call it.
Which I
And I
give
think
thanks every day for.
yeah, so I think we do kind of return back to the big grand consciousness, maybe the one that made everything, you
The
could say,
nothing.
the whatever that is.
Yeah. I love that.
Like we
The
return, that's
nothing.
why we're all one, because we all come from that consciousness. We're little bits and fragments of it
The
that then
fractals, as
return.
Trina says all the time.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it fits perfectly. I mean, hello, Miss Trina. I see that you're in there.
Yeah,
This
kind of
is a
like
delightful conversation. I love this.
yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a candle. You have a candle and you can take another candle and you can just take from the flame and make another flame. But you didn't take away anything from this flame by making this flame. It's just another fractal of that
Hmm.
flame. You know what I mean? And you can make multiple flames from that one flame. I don't know, that kind of
No,
helps me.
I'm coming to this to where I'm seeing it for myself that the real purpose of life is for the experience.
Yeah.
That it makes no other rhyme or reason for why we would be here except for the individual, for your experience.
Well, this consciousness doesn't have the physical form, so it can't get these experiences on its own. That's why we got to go
Bingo.
out there into the physical and gather up these experiences and bring it back home.
You know, I'm going to say something here. This is going back to my Bible days, but it always, because I have this memory, and Paul said, all things are permissible for me, but not all things are profitable.
Yeah.
Within that context, what he is saying, there is no sin.
Right.
I
All in
mean,
moderation.
yeah, I mean, well,
Yeah.
and if you want to go over in abundance, fine. It's not going to be to your profit. And today we're so hung up on the do's and don'ts
Hmm.
that we don't even know what the don'ts do anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So like, yeah, nothing is a sin as long as you do it in moderation, right? You know,
I
if you
guess,
overdo
yeah.
something, it's not going to be good for you.
I mean, that's what
So
you learn, isn't it? I mean, that's part of the experience. I'm not going
yeah,
to do that again, you
so
know.
some of us need to learn it the hard way and some of us don't, I guess, you know.
So here's a question I have for you, Nina, is,
Yeah.
and maybe the next time that you are in touch with the spirits, the one thing I've thought about is that, so when a spirit departs this realm, they depart in a definitive point in history. You know, let's say that you were in World War II and you died in Normandy. Well, everything that you remembered from would have been from the 30s.
Mhm.
You were the culture then. The thing that I have often wondered is how quickly can the spirit realm keep up with the changes of cultural, habits, precepts, the traditions? Because to me, as a spirit, that would be pretty. I mean, seriously, I mean, if you were a spirit born, let's say in the 1500s, how would you have any rationale of understanding of observing a spirit in the 21st, us in the 21st century?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't think that we think that way once we're over there.
True.
Like there's no time, right?
Yep.
That I have discovered because I have had dreams of things that I did in the future, right? So that they
So
happen
the
in my
time
dream.
space is not present over there.
No, it's one big loop. So, you know, the past, present, future, it's all one big loop. It's already happened. So that's why
Okay.
we have deja vus, or we have dreams about something that's going to happen on the road. So yeah, there's no time. So I'm sure once we exit out of here, we don't think of the years or what era it is now, or you know, we're just a spirit. We're just an energy, like
I love
you
that.
know, and it doesn't. There's no clothing. There's no how you can tell, oh, you're from this era, or you're from, you know. I'm sure the experiences are, because I mean, let's say back in the old days, obviously life was a lot harder than it is now, so there would be whole different experiences that they gathered up. Maybe
Yeah, I
today it's
think
probably a
so.
lot more
Yeah,
stress, you know. Yeah,
true.
we might not have to wash the clothes by hand anymore, but we have a lot more stress on other things. So a whole nother experience. So that's why I think we come back, because there's no way we can learn everything in one life, you
Oh,
know. And in one life we might be rich, then another one we're poor, you know, so we take turns in what
interesting.
we're experiencing, kind of thing. So yeah.
I'm content to say that there's a universe out there. I can't, and here's the problem with the over and over again here on Earth. You see, Earth will end one day. It is bound to. It's going to explode because our sun is going to consume it.
Right.
Those are the things that we know. So the thing that I keep thinking, that theology, I don't say that we don't incarnate, but there's a whole universe out there.
Mhm.
Why would we not incarnate in other planets? I mean, I don't have that
We
answer.
probably do. We
Yeah.
probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or once this planet's gone, we move on to a different planet, you know, and just continue the
It's like,
cycle somewhere
oh
else.
crap, here they come. The
Yeah, they
prophets
screwed up
told
that
us
Earth.
this was going to happen, and
Yeah,
now they're here. God damn it.
I know. Who knows? We may have been on Mars before, right?
It's like,
We
I
are the
thought
Martians.
I thought you told me that we've got the plan. They weren't going to come here. And look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, Nina, this
Oh,
is great. You know, it's the other question I often had. Of all the ghost hunter shows that I've seen, the paranormal shots, I've never seen a naked ghost. Never. I mean,
because
mean,
there's no body, so there's nothing to see. It's just energy. It's just, you know.
but they all seem to come back. I mean, the Civil War, Gettysburg, so many people have caught Confederate and Union soldiers in full manifestation, and they're still in their uniform. I don't know.
Well, maybe they do that so that we can associate it with something. Because if we see
Yeah.
the uniform, then we're gonna, oh, okay, that's from this era, that, so they can communicate where they're from, or where they, or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
have all the answers either.
no, I don't think any of us do, but it's so far out to think. And you know what? My experience has shown me that that's why the energies that come and talk to me, they really dig it. And in fact, one told me that they said, your frequency is very palatable for us. It's one that they can actually apparently enjoy,
There
which
you
would
go.
make sense. I mean, if you're an asshole, who wants to be around you?
There you go.
So,
So take it as a compliment when you
yeah,
have
there
them
you
around
go.
you.
And I told you that one story. The last I had one that manifested, and I said, you're one ugly son of a bitch. And exactly what I heard back. And it says, you ought to see how we see you. You think we're ugly? You are really ugly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all in the perceiver, right? Yeah.
it is. Well, that out told you the hour is going to go by quick.
Yeah, I sure did. Yes.
Well, Nina, tell people where they can find you. And, it's just been a real joy to have you on. It's just delightful. I hope you come back on again.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Anytime. Yeah, so links are in his description there. And I don't know if any of the mods have put them in the chat, but yeah, go to the YouTube,
I
subscribe
think
to
you're going to be
that.
surprised. Your subscriber is probably gone up by a couple of hundred that I know of just
Oh, wow.
watching.
Okay, that's
So,
awesome. Thank you so much for everyone that is subscribing. And yeah, if you don't mind hopping over to Facebook, like the page, check out the Hump Day message. I do it live on Facebook every Wednesday morning, but then I'll upload it to YouTube for the evening. I'll do it as a premiere at 7 o'clock at night. That's 10 Eastern, I guess.
yeah, I
You
think
can
it is.
catch it there if you rather do YouTube. So try and cover both bases there. And yeah, I hope you guys can join us live. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Y'all make
thank
sure
you
to
so much.
subscribe. I'm going to check it out. I watched a couple of them and I really
Did you?
enjoyed it. So yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Okay,
So
awesome.
yeah,
I'm
I
glad.
subscribe to your channel.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, have yourself a great weekend, whether it be your strong end, your weekend, your middle of the week, whatever it is. Enjoy it. Thank you, family. This is just a lot of fun. I mean, y'all need to come on next Friday. If y'all want to come on, just let me know. Nina, thank you, my dear. We will definitely get you back on real soon.
Thank you. My pleasure. And anytime.
All
Yeah.
right, folks, I will see you on Monday, if not sooner. Stay with me, Nina, as we get out here. Thanks, folks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.